Hi everyone, and welcome to this week's new video. I am so excited for this. It is finally my journal flip through. I've covered up some pages, but the binding has gotten pretty thick and I am so excited to finally be filming this. So let's just get right into it. This is a decomposition notebook that you can tell. It's made out of recycled pages, which is really great, and it comes with really beautiful decorations for the front covers and the inside covers as well. So here is my name, and then I keep like my contact information in case it gets lost. And this was my first entry. I also write the date that I started it and the date that I ended it. So I started this February 10th of 2016, Wednesday, and I always write the time that I start my entry. And this was the time I was doing a little recap of winter break. So I was writing about my trip to Japan and Taiwan with my family. And then I did like a whole date by date recap, so I thought I would be the tiniest bit artistic and include some doodles. And I did not yet have a travel journal at this time, so I kind of just included all these tidbits of places that we went to. And I've just covered up some private information with Post-its, so you'll see this randomly around. And more illustrations, and I also finally got to see my boyfriend. This was about the time we were a couple months into dating, so we were still long distance. And so there's a lot about the excitement of going to see him. And then I would start a new entry here. There's a lot about coming back and being sad about starting school again and being away from my boyfriend. Then it was Valentine's Day, and my RA left a little note and candy on our door. And then there's a lot of complaining about my roommates. There was a swimming and diving championship being held at our school. We were Division 3, and my friend was actually competing. He came from a different school, but my high school friend, it was really great to see him. Random complaining about my roommate and writing about my boyfriend. Yeah, there's a lot about writing about my boyfriend. In the beginning, I did a lot of writing because I wasn't yet into decorating, and journaling was very personal for me. So there's just a lot of writing, very minimal doodling or interesting colors or anything like that. My professor had pink eye, so I didn't have class. There's just a lot of writing. And then I thought I would change it up and type something up and print it, and then the tape job got super weird because I guess I didn't have glue. I printed out some photos to put on the wall of my room during, I think, spring break. My sister and I were having a fight. So there's a lot of entries like that. And my mom had brought these back from us, like from a previous trip to Japan, and they're kind of like white out but with designs on it, so I would kind of just randomly have those around. I bought my new Nike Air Force Ones. I was getting ready to transfer, so I was deciding like what schools I should go to. We watched Meet the Parents. And then this is when I started writing about that I started a new YouTube channel and was doing it for real. And then there was the Ithaca Pan-Asian American Film Festival at our school, so I attended that and got some souvenirs, and I wrote a lot about my YouTube channel as well. And this is from the Pan-Asian American Film Festival as well, and this is just me being super excited that people from these countries or states are watching my videos, and I was just very excited. I went to visit some friends at Binghamton at their school, and then there was a festival called Barrio for the, I think it was the Filipino American League, and so that was amazing, and so I got to hang out with my high school friends and see a little bit of Erica, my camp friend, as well. Father's Day, I'm at camp. It was day 2 of leader training for camp, and it was my first Father's Day without my father, and I was just really upset. I was like, I don't know when I should cry because I'm constantly surrounded by people and just talking about like the new camp people. Me getting close with the new camp friend whose nickname there is Bobby, so I just call him that. Session 1 ended at camp. Wow, it's already session 3, and I'm talking about my new group, me hanging out with Bobby, and now it's session 4. Wow, I didn't have a lot of time to write during this camp, and then I covered the page up. And then now it's September 12th, so I guess I'm at school. and I started my first semester at my new school, and I'm just writing some entries in this because I didn't have my journal, which I usually do. So I usually like glue in or staple in my pages, and I usually don't like to do this because it leaves the whole page empty, so I'll like, I don't know, it's just sad having an empty page like that. This one is the 1-year death anniversary of my father's death, and just me reflecting about it and being really sad. My mom talked about canceling Netflix and me being super sad. My sister and I got in another fight. Oh my god. It's election day, me writing about that and ranting. A fight, another fight, more outside journal entries. And then these papers are from work. These are like scrap papers from work, so if I have time or like I'm just bored and it's slow at the restaurant, I'll usually fill in these papers and tape them in. I hadn't written in a while. Yeah, this entry is from February 21st and this is March 7th. So me writing about that. Building my YouTube channel. And more empty fill-in pages. And these all are from work. Kind of made it like an accordion or like a book. And then I just taped those in with some cute washi tape that I got in Japan. Oh my god, because a whole year had passed. Yeah, I didn't even recognize it. This was the summertime, and then... Wow, I totally just completely lost track. Summertime, it's October. And then I hadn't written in my journal in such a long time because this is a December entry and this was a November entry. So I kind of went into a phase of not journaling at all because I would kind of tell other people rather than write it in my journal. And so then I kind of used this journal for quite some time because it passed Christmas and I didn't even notice. So this is why I went to Japan and I used my travel journal that my friend Samantha got me, as you would know in a video of the notebooks that I use, which I'll have linked. And then so it was suddenly a new month, 2017, instead of March. So this is why that's so confusing. And then more entries. I wrote this at the library at school and I would write the song that I was listening to. More work entries, some journal prompts. I went to Barnes & Noble's. And so I put in my receipt and just wrote about the types of journals that I got, and this was inspiration from Amanda Rachel Lee. This is from my library, and I wrote a little review of the books that I borrowed. And this is my horrific art skills, but this is me being really angry about racism and stereotypes, a tip-in of journal prompts, and a continuation of racism and whatnot. I always bought Chex Mix at school, and then I kind of just wrote about why I'm glad I'm not vegan because I like cheese even though this is fake cheese. This is around the time I also started watching witty novels. I wrote it in this one because I was getting more and more inspired to include more like souvenirs and things like that into my journal and make it more of like a mix of a scrapbook, which is why I started to include my receipts and stuff like that. So I started adding more things like that, and so I would include more decorations. And this was a letter I got from Samantha, and then me saying that I was finally starting my postcard back to her. And then I got this idea from a couple journal flip-throughs that I've seen here on YouTube of currently, and mine's not as artistic obviously, and I just wrote my favorite book, album, artist, YouTubers, hobby, show, bedtime, and snacks, and then some ideas for my new journal, like things to include in my journal. And this, I was on my way to my Japanese culture since 1600 class midterm, and I assumed I would fail, and then I left room to write what my score was, which I didn't do, but I didn't fail, so yay. This is me writing about a poem that I wrote on the next page that I don't really like, and the paint job kind of turned out weird because it just creates a huge block and I didn't like it. And I arrived too early at work, even though I thought I was going to be super late, so this is me yelling at myself. These are just souvenirs from work because I'm like, oh, well, I'm not always going to work here, so it'd be great to have some souvenirs of what I did there, of what like it was like to work there. I don't know what this is. I don't know why I did this. I was really sad. And then this was a little wish list that I created, And I made a wish list, and then I would check off the item if I got it, and then I would put in a picture of it. So these are the clogs, BOC clogs that I got, my Converse, some MeUndies with my boyfriend, and my Polaroid. I obviously didn't get to finish it. And I am really proud of me with this end of the journal because it really shows my progress of how I've come with, so as far as decorations in my journal. So I really love probably like this point on. I'm doing another review on the books that I took out from the library, and then I decided to create a folder, so I cut this out and did like a weird entry here. And then I went to Blue Stockings, which is a radical bookstore, and I wrote about it. I took some souvenirs and had created a little folder to include all the stuff. And then I made another folder with my DSW bag that they gave me to talk about the shoes that I bought. I included a receipt, my shopping list, and the little tissue paper that came in the shoebox. I created another folder. I spent a nice like lunch brunch with my mother, and I collected some souvenirs of where we went. We didn't really go, but we went down to this like area, and we went to look at the Oculus and like did some window shopping and stuff. And this is just the sugar pack that I restrained myself from putting in my tea. And then I went to Stony Brook to visit some friends, and these are some souvenirs like my train ticket, the Starbucks that we went to, and then we went to like Spencer's, this party store. I guess it's kind of like Ricky's, but not really. And then I printed out some pictures and wrote about that. And this is still about Stony Brook. I wrote a lot about Stony Brook. I was there for like 2 nights though, 1 night actually. And then they took me to this really good noodle place. And then my boyfriend was coming back, so I was super excited about that. I loved S-Town, so I wrote a whole entry and printed out my tweet. I wrote, "I wonder what people on the train think of me when they see my reactions to S-Town. I'm shook." I think y'all should give this a listen if you haven't listened to it yet. And then I got some new clothes. I did like an in-journal haul for myself. And then I hated school. I was in the sophomore slumps, and I had no idea what was going on in my comparative political economy class. And then I really hate this page, but I found some old stamps and I kind of just did a little thing. And then I got my free drink at Starbucks, talked about like my major and stuff like that, the direction in which I would like to go to in my life, and how my boyfriend was arriving in less than 24 hours. Talking about getting an internship maybe, and I bought new shoes at Puma, but they didn't fit, and by the time I tried to buy the one in my right size, they didn't exist anymore, so I was really sad about that. These were for my my Converse actually, and this, I don't know what this is for. I accidentally slept through all my alarms, and my boyfriend is back. And me talking about visiting my friend in DC, so for the summer. So this is just a cartoon, or just a really bad drawn picture of the White House. And then my boyfriend came, so I printed out some pictures that I'm not quite sure how to use my dad's photo printer, so it kind of turned out weird. I couldn't get a good picture, so it kind of only came out like this. And then these are the gifts that he got me, and I wrote about them. And then created a little folder of the stuff that I wrote at work about him. Again, an entry from school, so the song I was listening to, and I'm talking about my new pink Converse that I'm really excited about. And then I created a folder of like some random things, of like a chopstick cover from a Japanese pub we went to. We went to we got some Mama buns at Food Gallery 32 in K-Town. We went to Kung Fu Tea. My dad's super old Polaroid with old film that came out like this. And then this was just some directions. This is another entry from school. This is talking about how it's almost my sister's birthday dinner, but also I just wrote bullet points because I really needed to go to sleep. So bullet points of what happened. And then my boyfriend and I, we went to Kung Fu Tea again, so I included a receipt. I finished the first bottle of royal milk tea, which is like my favorite drink, and it's probably only available in Japan, or so I can find. I wrote a little note about annoying people at work. These are also work things, and then we went to go see a movie, so that's the receipt. Yeah, we went to go see Beauty and the Beast after work. Yeah, my boyfriend needed a job. It was perfect timing because someone was actually quitting at work, so he filled in that job, so we actually work together some days. So Sundays we finish earlier because the restaurant closes, so we usually go see a movie if we want to. Me talking a little bit about Beauty and the Beast. We got MeUndies. They delivered, so I just wrote about that under here. And then my boyfriend surprised me with some Auntie Anne's because I told him that I was craving it, and he actually got them for me at Penn Station, and then we met up at work and he gave them to me there. Another thing from school, I crinkled them up because I just like the sound of paper when it's crinkled. Work stuff, I got some alterations done at Uniqlo, and that's my receipt. My comparative political economy class got canceled, and he canceled last minute, so we had all arrived in the classroom and he wasn't there, so that was really annoying. So this is just a school entry. Work stuff, my sister Haruka and I went to see The Lost City of Z. This is me writing about the dad hat that I got at Urban, which I love. And then this is when my boyfriend and I went to see Guardians when one of my classes got canceled on Monday. And then I got my Polaroid, and it's actually like my last in journal entry, and so I just made a collection. Here's the sticker that it came with, the little tag that was on it, and the little box from the film, the first film cover that comes out, a receipt, the packaging that the film came in, and I all stuck it in this mama's bun and created a little pocket. And then this is an outside entry of like a fight that I had with my boyfriend. And that's actually the complete end of my journal. I didn't get to do a lot of creative stuff because I didn't start getting into watching journaling videos until I was pretty far into this journal. But I'm really proud of this because it shows my progression and how far I come into just writing plain, boring journal entries into making really interesting ones like these. And I really love the concept of pockets, and I'm using it a lot, or not a lot, but I used it a lot in this journal. But I like that I can collect souvenirs and I don't have to glue everything in, and I can just gather them all in something like this. And so now I'm like super into journaling and I love it, and I'm working on my new one. Maybe I'll give you a preview. This one's Spiral. It has been filled up not even halfway, and it's already like packed. But I'm really excited of this. My boyfriend, I let him flip through it just to look at all the decorations, and he said that he's impressed, or that something like that. This is something that is really exciting. It's definitely more like a scrapbook or like a mix of journaling and a scrapbook, but I'm excited for the journal flip through for this one. But this was just my first one, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm really excited to have done this. So if you guys enjoyed, please give me a big thumbs up, or if you're just looking forward to some more journal flip throughs, give me a thumbs up. I'm definitely going to be doing more videos like this, so subscribe if you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!
She played the fiddle in an Irish band, but she fell in love with an Englishman. Kissed her on the neck and then I took her by the hands, and baby, I just wanna dance.